Hello, everyone. Normally I say good morning, but I guess it's good afternoon today. Don't mind my crazy hair. Just went live and was like, oh my God, my hair's everywhere. Um, it's a little frizzy right now, so pardon my hair. Um, Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. We are here today. We're going to talk about the full moon in Aquarius. Today is July 30th, and the full moon is actually on Tuesday, which is August 1st. But I can't come live on Tuesday. And tomorrow morning, I have our weekly astrology forecast video. So today was really the best day to go ahead and get that in. So you'll have a little bit of an advantage of some uh, advantage of having it a little bit early. That's all. So before we get started, I do want to see if there's something I can smudge with here. So I have a little leaf. You can see I started to burn it, but it didn't burn all the way. So we're going to go ahead and reuse that. I try not to waste anything I don't have to. So I save all my little leaves and burn them down as far as I can. Some for me. My sinuses are still a little crazy. At first I thought it was allergies. Then I thought it was a cold. Then I've had a couple people say that they think because they're getting the same symptoms that it might be. We've had a lot of really foggy, hazy days, so it might be something to do with that. But either way, I do sound kind of nasally, so sorry about that. But I don't feel sick, other than my nose being congested and stuff. I feel fine. The normal tired, but I don't feel sick. So, all right, so we've smudged a little bit, and so we'll hop right in and get started here. So, full moon in Aquarius, like I said, is Tuesday, August 1st. Today is Sunday, July 30th. And so you have a couple of days to watch this before the full moon. Full moons are all about releasing what's not serving us anymore, what's not good for us, obstacles, things like that. New moons are when we manifest and call things in. So, as I'm going through talking about some of the energies of this um, full moon, think of things that might be good for you to release during the full moon. And I like to make a list, and maybe I make a big list, and then narrow it down to a couple of things. Sometimes I've made a list, and then after I have gone over the astrology, I'm like, oh, that's not at all what I'm going to work on releasing. I'm going to work on something else. So, but yeah, I'm a list maker, so I like to make lots and lots of lists. So, but you can release as many things as you want, or one thing, or if you're not really sure what you want to release, which has happened to me, many times before. I'm like, I really just don't know right now. And so then I put my trust in the universe and just say, I am releasing what's no longer serving me and trusting that the universe is going to take care of that for me. Sometimes she knows better than we do. I want to mention it's July 30th and I'm drinking hot chocolate because it's chilly here. I had to go put a sweater on and get a hot chocolate because I'm cold. And it's not because I'm sick. It is chilly here today. Yeah, last night it got down into the 40s, I think they said. But anywho, full moon in Aquarius. So the major theme of this particular full moon is successful actions. So, we're going to kind of tie that into how successful actions and releasing kind of work together. So we'll go over that a little bit. But the basic theme of this full moon is that your actions at this time are going to be successful. So And you're going to use the energies that are going to be around us, which I'll go into a little bit more. But really, it's going to be, you're going to have a lot of energy for initiative, um, decision making, and then putting that into action. So, those three things: initiative and being very decisive, and being ready to put things into action, is going to make for those actions to be very successful for you. So let's break that down a little bit for you, and what that means, right? So the full moon in Aquarius is going to be squared to Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about good luck, positivity, optimism, all of those things. So you will be feeling some of that energy. In all honesty, that energy is not going to be super strong from the full moon being squared to Jupiter. But the reason that energy is really going to come through for you is because we're also getting Mars, which is trying to Jupiter. So Jupiter's in there twice. So even though the full moon being squared to Jupiter isn't bringing a ton of positive energy, it's bringing some, but Mars being trying to Jupiter is also going to be bringing a lot of that same energy, that positivity, um, uh, optimism, um, good luck, all of that stuff. And Mars is our planet that's all about taking action, right? So again, that's all coming back to the same thing of positive actions, successful actions. So lots of energy around that. Mercury is also opposite Saturn. So it's still going to be a good energy. It's all about, Mercury is all about our communication, and the Saturn energy is going to be about planning and patience, and taking our time. Again, tying back into that decisiveness. We're going to be making good decisions, but the energy of Mercury opposite Saturn is going to be helping you make those good decisions, um, and making sure that you have the information, that you have good information, that you've thought things out, you've planned things out to make those decisions. So all of that is kind of tying back into the same thing. The sun is opposite the moon. So what is that going to mean for you? Basically, what that's going to mean is you're probably going to be feeling, and I think this is kind of happens every year at this time. And I haven't dug down to see if the full moon energies are the same. That's something that I would like to do in future videos, and when I get out of school and have more time to do my own research on stuff. But at this time of year, for me anyway, like I've had a very busy summer. I've been all over the place. Summer, especially up here in the north part of the world, is very short. So it's always crazy hectic. Like you try to jam in like a ton of stuff in like 3 months' time. But this is the time for me where I start to feel, and I've seen people posting like, I'm ready for fall, I'm ready for coziness, I'm ready for the pumpkin spice. But anyway, that people are ready to be home more, to be spending time with family, to be with their partners, whether boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, spouse, whatever. So that kind of that feeling of wanting to just be home and spending time with those in your home, your family, your spouse, things like that. On the other side, this could cause a little bit of conflict with work, right? Because if you want to be home, then you're not concentrating fully on work. So there may be a little bit of conflict there for you of, maybe you're not putting in your full attention. Maybe if you have vacation time, it would be a good thing to plan a vacation. Now, you don't necessarily, like I said, it might be home, but it might just be more family driven for you. So, August is always a good time. A lot of people plan their last family trips together before school gets started. So that kind of energy, which like I said, seems to be pretty normal. Maybe it's the part of going back to school. Maybe it's the part of it's the end of summer. I don't know. Maybe it's that we have the full moon energy is the same every year at this time of year. I have to go back and look that up. But we seem to follow those same kind of patterns throughout the year. So, but yeah, so the full moon is also going to be bringing you some strong emotions and some heightened instincts, intuition as well. Full moon is again, and I don't want to get too sciencey here, but the full moon, we always know that during the full moon is usually like a high tides because the moon affects the water, and us being mostly made of water, the full moon is also going to be affecting us as well. So everything is going to be just like the waves. It's going to be heightened a little bit. So our emotions, our instincts, all of that's going to be heightened. If you are a medium, if you're a psychic, if you're an empath, any of those things, that's also going to be heightened over the next couple of days for you. So I didn't say it in this video, but I usually do. During the full moon or new moon, the energy is typically about a 3-day window. So today being Sunday, you're probably going to start feeling it tomorrow, Monday, and then it'll be really strong on Tuesday, and then you'll be feeling it a little bit as it lessens on Wednesday. So that is normal for new moon and full moon energy to it's going to kind of build on Monday, it'll be up on Tuesday, and then it'll kind of be coming back down on Wednesday for you. So, but you might be seeing those. So for me, I get super excited about the full moon and the new moon and things being, so the full moon being so heightened, not at the new moon. Full moon, everything is, like I said, high tides are up, the waves in the ocean's up, everything is up. So that is heightened for you as well. Now, if you're somebody who maybe is an empath and doesn't want that to be heightened, this is where you need to spend some time working on whatever it is you do, whether it is a bubble, putting up your shield, putting up your guard, grounding. Baths are really good to help clean away anything that's not yours. Working with some shungite, working with some selenite would be really good if you don't want those energies necessarily to be heightened for you, okay? And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me, and I will do my best to answer any questions that you have, or at least point you in a good direction, hopefully. So, but yeah, like I was saying, for me being an intuitive, I get super excited whenever my intuition is going to be heightened, and I really look forward to it. So for me, I just might work with some quartz, and we'll talk about that when we get over into the tools part of the video, which is just a few minutes. But generally speaking, if you wanted to heighten that, you could certainly just work with some quartz, because quartz is your amplifier, your magnifier. It's kind of like your battery pack, so to speak, I guess. So, oh, sorry. I'm doing a video, hun. He's bringing me a sandwich. Yeah, so you could work with some quartz. Sorry, distraction. So some other things that might be coming up is subconsciously you might be aware of your subconscious awareness. How am I saying? Your subconscious awareness is going to allow you for an honest and balanced look into your relationships. Sorry, now my phone's going off. I thought I had everything muted, but I guess not. So subconscious awareness allows allows for an honest and balanced look into your relationship. Now, I said earlier that the full moon is about releasing what no longer serves you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to end your relationship, right? Maybe it does. Maybe your relationship is what's no longer serving you. And maybe that is something you need to think about. But maybe it's an obstacle in the relationship. Maybe it's a lack of communication. So maybe there's something there that you need to release to help the relationship. Like I said, the possibilities could really be endless on what it could mean for you, but just keep your eye open and just be aware, right? So like I said, your subconscious is going to kind of bring this to the surface for you. So just be paying attention to what's coming up for you, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and where that's going to bring you, okay? So like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to wake up and be like, my relationship's no good and I got to get rid of him, her, either one. Maybe, but maybe you're going to just say, something's coming between us and that's what needs to go. Whatever that thing is. Maybe it's a thing, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a job, maybe it's, who knows, whatever it is. But something might be brought to your attention there subconsciously. And really, when something subconsciously is brought to your awareness, that is your intuitiveness, or that is your spirit guide giving you that little nudge, in my opinion, anyway. So, so with all that being said, we do always want to make sure we're staying in balance, right? We want to keep everything in balance. So even though we're going to be having lots of intuition, we're going to have heightened emotions, we're going to be innovative, we're going to be wanting to take some action, right? And if you are in some signs that are maybe not quite so much like that, this energy could be really great for you to take advantage of. If you're someone more like me who can already be pretty action driven, can be pretty forward driven, and can tend to be pretty blunt in my communications as it is, that's going to be something that I'm going to want to keep in check for me. I'm going to want to make sure I'm staying nice and balanced in that, because otherwise our bluntness can come over as, could be hurtful, can be aggressive, could even come out as malicious, right? So, and we don't want that, or at least I don't want that. I think most of you probably don't want that. But so just remember keeping that in balance. They're good energies. We can use those energies to our benefit. We can use that to drive us forward to where we want to be. But again, keeping that in balance and making sure we're not getting too aggressive and hurtful. All right. If anybody has any questions on any of that or wants to add to it, give some of your own insight, all of that is certainly welcomed. Please feel free to put it in the comments. I try to answer back every comment that there is. And, even just if it's just that you're saying hi or telling me where you're from, I usually try to comment back to you. So please feel free to go ahead and do that. So from here, we're going to move over into the tools part of the video that I call. So the first half is usually about the astrology and the energies. And then the second part is about what you can use during this time. So over the next 3 days, with a side note in there, if you are new to my videos, this is why I say this. Everybody else who's watched my videos has heard me say this a million times before, but if you can't do anything on the full moon, that's okay. If you can't do anything Monday or Wednesday, that's okay. still do it. It's still going to be beneficial for you. Us acknowledging it, us sitting with it, us working with, maybe the energies aren't the same anymore, but us putting that time and that effort in and those acknowledgments is going to be beneficial. The new moon, full moon energy is just kind of again, it's an amplifier, a booster to that work. But like I said, if you can't do it in that time, still do it. It's still going to be beneficial to you. So, like I said, if you can't do it Tuesday, try Monday or Wednesday. If you can't do it Monday or Wednesday, do it today. Do it Friday. It's still going to be important, okay? So I'm not doing ritual with you live. There are a bazillion YouTube channels that you can go to that do all sorts of different types of rituals. My suggestion on that is play around. That's what I did when I first started. I watched a bazillion different videos, and then I kind of found like a few people that I really resonated with, that I really liked. And, I learned a lot from them. And so, again, just, find somebody that fits for you. I had one lady that just laughed through their whole video. Apparently, she thought her jokes were really funny. But it wasn't for me. I was just like, okay, can we get to some actual information here? And just different things. People talked about things that I'm like, that just doesn't seem right at all, and that's okay. And if you're watching this video and you're listening to me and you're thinking, this lady doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, that's certainly fine. But I suggest you to keep looking and find that person that really fits for you and learn from that person, okay? And maybe you'll come back to me later. Maybe you won't. That's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea or everybody's cup of hot cocoa. All right, so over to the tools part. The first thing I like to start with is affirmation. So I am going to type it in here really quick. Nope, I have to type it right there. All right, so I have put that in the comments for you. Not that you can't write it down yourself, but if you forget and want to go back, instead of trying to search through the video, you can just go to the comments and it will be there. But the affirmation I picked for this full moon and this energy is, my intentions are pure and meaningful. So whatever those intentions may be, whatever actions you're going to be taking, whatever initiative you're going to be taking, whatever it is you're going to be planning, are good intentions. Okay, so there's no, like I said, there's no hurtfulness or malice involved in it. So we want to make sure we're keeping that balanced. So that's a good way to do that, keeping yourself in check. My intentions are pure and meaningful, and so we're not, getting out of balance and getting too carried away and getting aggressive or hurtful, right? So short and sweet affirmations. I love affirmations. They're super easy to work with. You can't tell me you can't do affirmations, because everybody can. If you want to set aside 20 minutes to work with your mala beads and work with your affirmation, that's awesome. That's great. I don't have time to do that. My affirmations, I'm in the shower, I'm washing my hair, I say my affirmation. I'm making my morning coffee, standing there at the coffee pot waiting for it, or stirring in my sugar, I say my affirmations. Driving to school, you can say your affirmations. Driving to work, you can say your affirmations. Cooking dinner. There's a bazillion things we do in a day that are kind of our mundane muggle kind of activities that we have to do. Just even say it every time you have to go pee. Who knows what, every time you go in and go to pee, say your affirmation, whatever it is for you. Every time you get a drink, or like I said, I just kind of do it between That guy was speeding. Um, Brushing my teeth, washing my hair, making my coffee, driving, things of that sort. Sorry, these motorcycles fly by here. Somebody's going to get seriously hurt one day. Um, and just incorporate it into my everyday time so that I don't have to be necessarily setting time aside to do it. If you have time to do it and you want to work with a mala, that's amazing. I think that's great. Maybe someday I'll get there. All right, so the next thing that we are going to talk about is a tarot card. There is a tarot card associated with every zodiac sign, and those are super easy to look up. You could just Google them if you want to. But the one that goes with Aquarius is the star. And no, I do not have a typical Rider Waite deck. I have, I bought it off Amazon, but I just love the artwork in it. It's amazing and beautiful. So the star. So if you wanted to work with a tarot card, you could. You can put it on your altar space. You could put it next to where you sit in the evening. Mine sits here on my desk right in front of my computer screen so that I see it every day when I come out here. You could take a picture of it and put it on your phone as your screensaver if you wanted. There's lots of things you could do with it, but yeah, just put it somewhere where you're going to see it. And when you see it, it kind of reminds you of, oh, yeah, this is the work we're doing. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm focusing on. Just tries to kind of help keep us on track a little bit, or at least me anyway. The star, the meaning of it, tying back into all the energies of this particular full moon, is all about optimism. So with that, pulling in that Jupiter energy, progressiveness, which again is pulling in that that Mars energy, and harmonious, is kind of pulling in some of those other energies. I forget where it is here, but somewhere about here. Oh, the harmonious balance of being honest and balanced. So that all ties in there for you. The star is also represents creativeness. So, maybe whatever you're trying to take your actions on is going to be some sort of creativeness. And I like to remind people that creativeness doesn't necessarily mean you have to be painting or you have to be making something. It could be your creativeness could be singing, it could be music, it could be dancing. But even that, it could be maybe you are super creative in some sort of business technique. I don't know. But maybe it's making some sort of chart or whatever it is. It could be a million different things that you could be creative at. It doesn't necessarily just have to be like the normal, like dancing, singing, artwork. Whatever you're doing throughout your day, you're creating something. So kind of think about what that is for you, what that means for you. But the star also is for inspiring. So, we could definitely use some inspiring towards whatever it is that we want to be successful at. And it's also spiritual. So nice, just keeping us connected to our spiritual realm, whatever that may look like for you. So my computer, my internet is lagging here, so I hope that it's not on your end, but if it is, I apologize. Um, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is archetypes. So there are several different archetypes for Aquarius, but the one I picked for this particular full moon is the Innovator. So the Innovator, the qualities that are around that are being practical, being problem solving. So again, there's part of that, what's holding us back, what's in our way, what's going on that's keeping us from doing what we want to do, and working on releasing that. So you could definitely, work with that type of energy. Thinking outside the box. again, all great ways to get ahead and do the things that we want to do. The Innovator is also very logical, very critical. So we have to, breaking my stuff here. We have to be aware of that part of it, right? So the Innovator can also be very critical and can be very blunt. So again, that's keeping that in that balance, right? We have to work on making sure we're staying where we want to be. But you can use that being critical to your advantage as long as we're not being mean about it, right? Like we can take something for ourselves or for somebody else and we can critique it as long as we're not being mean or, like I said, aggressive or malicious about it, right? We want to be constructive criticism. And maybe you need to be a little blunt. Maybe you have tried to have a conversation with somebody and you've tried the gentle approach and stuff and it's not working. And so maybe you need to use a little bit of that bluntness to be like, listen, buddy, you're not listening to me. But again, just making sure we're not going over into that being hurtful area. So, but it, like I said, it is an energy. I can already be very blunt. So I would have to make sure that I'm keeping that from going over. But if you're somebody who isn't very blunt and maybe needs to be, you can help that. If you're down here, you can have that energy bring you up to here, where I'm up here and need to come back down here. But it all depends on where your placements are and how your energies are going to mix with the energies that are coming over the next couple of days. And again, I highly recommend doing your natal chart if you haven't done it. I do natal chart readings. If you're local, if you're not local, maybe we could Zoom or something. I don't know, but you can certainly do them online. Or, where if you're not local to me, there are usually people you can find in your area that will do them for you. So they're very informative. And when I did mine, I was like, it was kind of like oh my God. So, but it explained a lot. It helped me understand myself a lot. But it also helps me understand how each energy going through the week and through the different signs, how that energy affects me. So again, I highly recommend it if you haven't had it done. Like I said, I do it, but you can do it on your own, or you can find somebody else to help you with it as well. So, but yeah. So moving over into stones. Oh, sorry. I did want to mention really quick here for archetypes. I don't normally go into this too much, and you guys can let me know if it's something you find interesting and you want to know more about. Maybe it will be a video series that I work on somewhere down the road. I'm not really sure how that will play out, but things that are just kind of coming to me is I wanted to mention when I talk about the archetypes, there's also deities that you can work with. And again, I don't normally go over that too much, but I can add it in to this section, or maybe, like I said, maybe I do a separate video series on deities. I don't know how that's going to play out yet, but if you wanted to work with a deity during the full moon, my suggestion would be either Morgan or Freya. So you could work with some of those. And again, if you don't have statues, you can certainly, like I said, Google and put in Morgan and hit images, and a million will come up for you. Scroll through till you find something that resonates with you. Make it your screensaver, print it out. There's all kinds of things that you can do to work with it if you don't want to go by statues, but you certainly can, but you don't have to spend money if you don't want to. So over to stones. The 3 stones I picked for today was, one of them I already talked about, was quartz. So here's my little skull quartz that I have. He's kind of an ugly skull, but somehow I still seem to love him. He's kind of a smushed version. Um, yeah, he's kind of a weird skull. He's kind of, but I don't know. So you could work with some quartz, like I mentioned earlier, are really good for amplifying, magnifying the energies. So if you really want to call that in and really give it a little bit extra of a boost, you could work with some quartz. So there's that guy. You could also work with some garnet. I didn't have a piece of garnet, or I have a piece, but I couldn't find it. So I grabbed a garnet bracelet for you to see. So you could work with some garnet. Again, my camera's not really focusing on that, but some just pretty garnet bracelet, smaller beads. But I love bracelets. I tend to swap mine out here and there depending on what's going on in life for me. But bracelets are a really great way to work with the energies because they're just there. You put them on and you've got them all day. And I'm a big fan of wearing all my stuff. So, there's my turquoise, there's my aquamarine. Um, so, here's my sodalite. So I love wearing my stones, but so there's some garnet for you. And the reason I picked garnet is it's really it's great for passion, which is what most people know it for, passion and love and some sex drive, those types of things. But it's also really great for integrating wisdom. So tying that back into the Mercury opposite Saturn of that planning and being patient and getting information and really making a good decision. So that garnet might help in that area for you if you needed it. The other one I picked is amethyst. So I have a nice little amethyst tooth here. Very pretty. And so is amethyst is so many things. But the reason I love amethyst is because it is part of our crown chakra, not part of our chakra. It is connected to our crown chakra. Use correct words, Julie. It heightens our crown chakra, keeps our spiritual connection open, helps us, stay balanced with all of that. And so, for me, I love to work with my intuition. So amethyst is a really great one to work with for that. But really just that spiritual connection. And, maybe it doesn't really fall under these energies if but I feel like it does. I feel like that, again, because I'm super excited about full moons and heightened intuition and being connected. It's, like a direct line for me. And so, you could work with that. Again, if you're somebody who, usually the one that comes up is the empath. They don't want that to be heightened. They don't want a boost on that. And again, so then you could work with, this is my shungite. So you could, work with some shungite. That's going to help be grounding, be protective, things like that. Or you could work with some selenite, which I don't have a piece handy, do I? No, I don't think I do. But you could work with some selenite that will help clear out energies if you don't want them. So those would be the stones that you might want to be working with. If you wanted to work with some herbs or oils, I group these together because you can work with them either way. If you have some of the herbs and some of the oils, that's fine. If you have all herbs or all oils, that's fine. It really doesn't matter how you work with them. If you wanted to make an anointing perfume and you have 2 oils and an herb, you can still put the herb in the oil and still use the oil, that way. If you have 2 herbs and an oil, you can still use it that way. If you have all the herbs, you could just put it in a carrier, some jojoba or something like that, and work with it. You can make an incense. If you have all oils, you could, put it in your diffuser. I mean, the possibilities are endless again. So however, you want to work with them is perfectly fine. But the first one I picked, and this one, I think I might actually have to go make this one because it's a lot of scents that I love. Balsam, anything that's really in the tree category, it is um, some of my favorites. I'm not typically a big floral person. Um, Side note there, but I do love bergamot. But other than that, I'm pretty much an earthy kind of fragrant person. So the first one I picked is balsam. Um, and so balsam is really good for enhancing your concentration. And so whatever you could you can use that in a couple different ways, like your concentration towards all the things we talked about, like your actions and your communication and your planning. All of that is good for concentration. If you are working more with your intuition and connecting to source, again, that's a good, we could boost our concentration on that. If you are going to do some meditation, or if you're going to maybe work with your mala doing the affirmations, concentration. So there's like a lot of good ways you could work with that balsam energy. The next one I picked is neroli. Again, that is one of my favorites. Neroli helps balance out emotions. Um, and again, I want to say that, like, balance out emotions. So for me, like I was saying with the bluntness, right? For me, if I'm up here, it's going to help balance me. It's going to bring me here. If you're someone who's not very blunt and maybe doesn't speak up and needs to, it's going to help bring you here. So when our stones, our herbs, all of that, we use them, it's not going to like, for me, if I worked with, say, quartz to magnify, right? And I am already blunt, and this is balanced and this is me, it's not going to put me up here. It's going to help bring me here. Okay? Because everything vibrates at their frequency, and it's going to help bring you to that frequency. It's going to help you match that frequency. So if I'm already up here and I'm working with an herb or a stone or something, it's not going to put me up here. It's going to bring me here. It's going to match my frequency to its frequency. Okay. So I always like to ensure people that it's not going to make you like over the top. Okay. It's going to help keep everything in balance right where it needs to be. So so balanced emotions. So, neroli is really good for that. And so again, if we are being, optimism is great, right? I don't think we can have too much optimism. Harmony is great. I don't think we can have too much harmony. But some of those other things being, like I said, maybe the critical part, we want to make sure we're keeping that in check. The bluntness part, we want to make sure we're keeping that in check. Communication, we want to make sure that that's being a nice balanced communication. We can say what we need to say and be productive and be like I said, be maybe what you have to say isn't nice, and that happens, but we don't have to be hurtful or, like I said, malicious in it. We want to just, okay, this, we've got to tell you something, and this is what we got to tell you, but we don't want it to, we don't need to be mean about it. Okay. So neroli is really good for balancing out any emotions that you might be worried about. And then fenugreek is all about bringing luck. So again, tying back into that, all that positivity of Jupiter's energy. So that is something that you could work with. So I think I might go inside and make a little bottle of that. I think I have all of them. I know I have balsam. I know I have neroli. And I have fenugreek right there on the shelf. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. So I might just have to go make some. Anyway, let's finish up. Couple things left. If you want to work with color, color is a super easy way to work with energies. And like I said, that are just super easy. My way of working with colors is I went to the dollar store and I bought like a bazillion ribbons, all different colors: yellow, gold, orange, red, blue, purple. Some of them are zigzaggy, some of them are polka dotted. Just all kinds of ribbon for $1, right? So I have a drawer in the house that has a little container. Actually, it's a container that's full of ribbons. And when I want to switch out color, that's a super easy way for me to do it. I have a big vase in the living room that has flowers in it. I change out the ribbon that's tied around that all the time. I have a broom on the back door. Again, change out the ribbon on it. I have lanterns in the living room that I tie ribbons on. So it's just super easy ways to, change the colors and work with those colors. For me, the colors help bring in that energy that we're looking for, but they're also, for me, they're really great, like little reminders, right? Like I was saying with the tarot card, put it somewhere where you can see it. So it's going to kind of be like, oh yeah, working on that, So those colors are helping bring in all those energies, but they're nice little visual reminders to me of what I'm working on and to keep going. So, for this particular full moon, I picked blue, which is a watercolor, obviously, and it's really good for working with our intuition. So I know sometimes I'm like, am I making this video for me or am I making it for everybody else? I try not to push too much, guys, but I really do get excited about intuition. So if you want to work with your intuition, you could work with some blue. Maybe that is getting some blue stones. You can get those little colored stones at the dollar store. Maybe you get some of those. Maybe you get ribbon like I did. You could get a blue candle. You could get little, I also went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of those little placemats for $1. And I changed that out for my altar space depending on what I'm working with. So, I tend to change mine out more like for the high holidays, things like that. But, you could change them out whenever you want. So you could put a blue placemat down with a blue candle and some blue stones, and a little, get one of those little clear round dishes or something, put some blue stones in it or something, be creative. But there's all kinds of easy little ways that you can work with colors. So blue is really good if you want to work with some intuition. You'll also see blue is really good for our throat chakra. So for communication. So again, coming back to that Mercury opposite Saturn, of communication and planning, right? So we can work with some blue for our communication, for our throat chakra. Light blue for Aquarius is kind of like their spirit color. I talk about purple being amethyst in our crown chakra, but light blue for Aquarius, which is very water oriented, is a really good spirit color for them. So you could pick a couple of different blues and work with it that way. Like my aquamarine here is a very, very light blue. And that helps me work with my water, my intuition that way. So again, it's very different blue than what this is. But it's still a very good color to work with for all of that intuition and connection to source, whatever that may look like for you. And then the other color I picked is purple. Again, so crown chakra color, purple. But purple is also known as the color of magic, and it's also known as the color of success. So that's the big reason I picked it to work with for this full moon, is because it's all about successful actions, right? So those are some colors you could work with. All right, journal prompt. And again, I will put it in the comments. Not that I don't think you guys could write it down, but if you forget to write it down and want to go back or whatever, you don't have to scroll through the whole video to find it. We've already talked about this a little bit when we talked about that creativity part of it. When we were talking about the star, it helps bring in creativity. So creativity, what the journal prompt is, what unique talent can I share with the world? And so again, making successful actions, being positive, the affirmation of being pure and meaningful, the archetype of thinking outside the box, all of that, put it together, right? And what is your unique talent that you can share with the world? And so when you're journaling, it's not about punctuation, it's not about proper grammar, it's not about, making complete sentences. It's to free write as you're thinking. And so really, take that time if you can. Set aside maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just be like, okay, I'm going to get a piece of paper and a pen, and I'm going to just keep writing until the 20 minutes is done. And just write whatever's coming to you. And then after you're done, then you can go back and really, kind of process through it. And if you want to fix up the grammar or whatever, it's not necessary, but the thing is to just write as things come to you and not worry about your handwriting, not to worry about punctuation, grammar, all of that, like proper paragraphs and blah, blah, blah. Just to freely write whatever's coming through for you, and then go back and read it and kind of, really dig into what is your unique talent. Now, growing up, I wanted to be a singer, but I don't have a very good voice. So, that's just not going to happen. But, on a more practical idea for me, like what is my unique talent that I can bring to people? I'd like to think I have multiples, but, whatever it is for you, what do you do that's a little different than what everybody else does? Now, I do these videos, and a bazillion other people do these videos. What is it that makes you want to watch mine and not somebody else's? I don't really know, but I just keep doing what I'm doing, and I have faith that people will come that need to be here, and the people that don't need to be here will move on and find where they need to be. But anyway, there is something in there unique about me that maybe is what keeps you here. So what is it for you? What do you do? Maybe, I don't know, I'm just going to use something super simple. Maybe it's candle making, right? Maybe you make candles, and there are, again, a bazillion people out there that make candles. What is it that is your little niche that maybe you use a certain type of essential oil? Maybe you use a certain type of wax or soy or whatever. Maybe it's you use a super special jar. I don't know, but maybe you have a way of blending it that other people don't do. Maybe you put crystals in it. Maybe you decorate the jar You know, there's like so many things that can make it your unique piece. And so just like I said, sit and write for 15, 20 minutes. Let whatever flow is going to flow. And then you can go back and, you know, read it over and kind of dig down into some of the things that you wrote down. But there's always something unique about every single one of us. And that doesn't mean, I'll stick with the candles. That doesn't mean that the whole world is going to stop buying everybody else's candles and buy just your candles. But maybe your candles are really important to a specific group of people. Like I said, you guys watch my videos. Other people might pop into my feed and be like, she's really not for me. And they move along and they find somebody else that is a good fit for them. That's just the way it is. But what I'm giving in this video hopefully is helping somebody. And somebody else's video is going to be helping somebody. So maybe your candles aren't going to be the only candles sold in the world, but maybe you have a group of some sort of people that are interested in your candles that are unique. So I don't know if that really made any sense or not, guys, but I hope so. If you have questions on that, feel free to ask. I'll see if I can make a little more sense out of that for you. But we all have something about us that is unique. And again, I'll bring it back to the natal charts, right? Our natal charts, it's almost impossible that somebody's going to have the same exact natal chart as you, unless somebody was born at the same exact place at the same exact time as you. You know, even a twin could be different because maybe the twins were an hour apart. And so that's going to make their charts different, you know, things like that. So, you know, every little minute, every little bit of it could make your chart different than somebody else's. So unless there's a group of babies that were all born exactly at the same time at exactly the same place, most charts are going to be different from people. So your uniqueness is there. So just have to tap into it and find it. So, all right. So the last thing, I usually leave you guys with a little do-it-yourself craft. I do hope to get back into doing some crafting videos. I really miss it. But I have a bunch on YouTube. So if you want to do some crafting and you don't really know where to start, you can go back to my other videos. They're probably related to like some sort of holiday or a full moon or whatever. But, you know, if you just want to listen for the crafting part of it, you know, that's fine. But for this particular full moon, I thought it would be a really good idea if you guys made some sort of divination set for yourself. And again, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. I made a divination set. I went to the dollar store and I bought those little, just those little flat black rocks that they have. Like you can buy a bag of them for $1. And I bought like a white silver Sharpie and drew runes on them. Super easy, right? Cost me $2. I bought a bag of those little round, like wood pieces, like the wood slices, and I wood carved runes on them. You know, there's a bunch of different things that you could do. I saw somebody who bought those little colored glass beads at the dollar store and painted them on there. And you can paint runes on them. You can paint sigils on them. I grabbed this one just for you guys to kind of see. But so this one is pieces of bone that somebody carved into it. But they don't have to be super big. Like I said, and it's super easy to do, and you can make it your own. maybe you paint the rocks your favorite color and then put the runes either in white or black, depending on, what you need for it to show. You can make them all kinds of different ways. Like so you can make them, you could go get pink and purple and do it that way. You could stick with, like, I prefer more earthy kind of things. So the rocks and the wood really kind of speak to me. I was trying to think if I don't even have anything here I could show you, but just, you know what I'm talking about, the little flat black rocks that you can just buy at the dollar store. And I just bought like a silver Sharpie to put on them. So, and make yourself a divination set. If you wanted to work more with a pendulum, you could get a bigger wood piece and wood burn in like yes, no, maybe. If you go way back, I have a video that was about making your own divination board. That's in there somewhere. I did it with a canvas from the dollar store and I painted it all black and I drew on it again with silver Sharpie and made myself a divination board. So again, cost me like $3. $1 for the little canvas, $1 for the black paint, and $1 for the Sharpie. Um, you know, and if you wanted to do the canvas board and the stones, you could use the same Sharpie, But the other thing you could do for divination, if you wanted to do some scrying, and again, I did a video way back about that as well. I had bought a candle, which came in a nice black bowl. And so when I had finished burning the candle, I took the black bowl, washed it all out, cleaned it out. And then again, I took that same silver Sharpie and I drew on the outside. So I put, I think I did the triangle for the water symbol. I did like the triple moon symbol on it. And then I specced it with some silver paint to go with the silver Sharpie. And then inside the bowl was all black and you could fill the water, put some water in there and do some scrying that way. So all really great, easy ways to make your own tools to work with divination however you choose to. So maybe what I'll do is I'll put a few pictures on Facebook group, which would be Lady Faltai's Light Healers. My husband's text messaging me. So I'll put some pictures up of those if I remember. I'll take a picture of the board, I'll take a picture of the runes that I did, and I'll take a picture of the bowl and post them up there. So if you want to see what those look like, you can head on over to Lady Faltai's Light Healers on Facebook. It's a group. If you're not a member, just click in it, and there's like 3 simple questions, and it'll let you right in. So. But with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I usually try to keep these videos to about an hour, and I'm just over time, just by a few minutes. But again, if you have any questions, comments, want to add some of your own insight, I always love to see how other people view things and think of things. And, I'm always interested in learning more and more all the time. So I always love it when people share their own views and their own insights and ideas on things. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up. It'd be great if you share it, or just tag a friend, whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for you. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for our weekly astrology. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. And as always, remember to be kind. Your kindness is not only going to improve your day, it's going to improve somebody else's day, and it could potentially change someone's life for the better. And it doesn't cost us anything. So lots of love, guys. Bye.